With Bob Meyers here for the Valley today, and Bob is the official, are you the official fastest gun in the world?
Well,
or on this planet?
Yeah.
Which is the same thing,
it's
right?
the same thing, yeah.
What's your fastest time of pulling a gun out and hitting a target at 21 feet?
31 hundredths of a second.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, I really don't get too much faster than that right now, but in competition, things change a little bit when you're on the line. But this year, I've been really maintaining my training levels to whatever I shoot in practice, I bring it out to the line.
Now,
so it's been really great for me.
The world championship was at in Fallon, Nevada?
Fallon, Nevada.
Yeah, and how long ago was this?
This was the beginning of October, the first weekend in October.
Yeah. And how many competitors did you have?
There was 200 competitors, around 55 women, and then 130 some odd men.
But it also isn't the fastest pull, but you actually have to hit this target.
Yes.
Right here, this target, from 21 feet. That's the distance?
Yes, 21 feet.
So in a third of a second, you're pulling your gun out and you're hitting this thing.
Yes.
How many times?
Well,
60%, 80%?
Well, I like to do 60%. The contest is the best 3 out of 5, or the best 3 hits out of 10. Whoever gets to the 3 hits on the target will win the round. We have competitors that are deadly on the draw.
Yeah.
They hit. They're very consistent on hitting the target. If I miss that target, they hit the shot, they'll win.
Yeah.
They get the first 3 hits.
Even if they're slower.
Even if they're slower.
Yeah.
It's accuracy in this game is part of it too, but then speed comes along. So if you have a competitor that's equal to your ability, you just want to have the faster shot to win the shot. And that's what I've tried to develop, because we have a lot of great guys, world champions, state champions, territorial champions in the sport. And to compete with them, I have to be at the same level.
Yeah.
But in this sport, what's great about it is that everybody's at the same level.
Yeah.
Because the first-time person who's been shooting for 1 week in this sport could go to a contest and place and do very well and actually beat a world champion.
Now, you've had a problem finding a place to shoot in Fresno, because they don't, there are shooting ranges in Fresno, but they don't allow for people to quick draw. At a shooting range, you're already set up and you're shooting at the target.
Right. Yeah, they have a policy of no draw from the hip type thing, which just makes sense. This is all wax bullets that I shoot. There's no live rounds.
But these are still dangerous at a very close distance.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, to believe it or not, the first year I started doing Cowboy Fast Draw, I shot myself 3 times in the leg. But, you know, yes, ow.
And this is what you're shooting.
That's what I'm shooting right there.
Now show us your gun.
Okay, the gun, let me show you. Let me show you that the gun is unloaded.
The gun is unloaded.
So our viewers are not seeing me wave but think a loaded gun. But anyway, it's a single action 45 revolver. Of course, you just can't pull the trigger. You have to cock the hammer back.
Hand it back for it to fire.
And then you squeeze the trigger and it'll drop. So this action has to be done all in the draw.
Right.
So of course we'll go with the light system here pretty soon, but yeah, you have to cock and fire, cock, fire. That's how this gun works.
And this is different from a Colt, because the Colt has got a 3 position for the hammer, and this has only got 2 positions.
Actually, yeah, it's just the cock back position. Yeah, they have a firing pin on the hammer. This is supposed to be the clones of the Colt, but actually this is a transfer bar action. There's no firing pin, so it's not actually a clone of the Colt. But we allow this in competition because it's a great gun, it's a durable gun, it's a strong gun, and they're inexpensive for people to purchase to get involved in the hobby, in the sport.
Now, how did you get into this?
Well, I got, you know, back when I was about 18 years old, I was going down Blackstone Avenue, and there was a gentleman named Bob Munden, which is known as the fastest man alive.
And I think I saw him at an assembly at my school here 50 years ago. When I was going to Riverview School, there was a quick draw guy that came, and we had an assembly, and he was fast.
More than likely, that was Bob Munden. And I got really involved and intrigued in what he did, but I didn't know anything that was going on about the sport. I went to gun stores, had no concept of what fast draw was, who did it, where you could start. Until 7 years ago, I was on the internet, because we have internet now. I was on the internet, and I was looking up fast draw. My wife came up behind me. She goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Looking up fast draw." She goes, "Oh no, not now." You know. And so I found a number. This was a Sunday morning. I found a number and I saw it said Oakdale, California.
Yeah.
So I called the guy up and said, "Hey, listen, I'm interested in Cowboy Fast Draw." And he goes, "Well, it's Sunday." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's a bad day." He goes, "No." He goes, "You want to come over?" I said, "Sure. I want to shoot now." You know. So I went to his house. He put a gun on me, and I was in his garage, man, shooting fast draw.
No kidding.
And the following weekend, there was a championship with Bob Mernicle. He's also another gun maker, and he's also known as one of the fastest in the world too, in world fast draw. And I went to one of the championship matches to meet him, and I got involved with a guy who lived in Los Banos who was starting a club with Cowboy Fast Draw. I went to the following weekend and shot with him, and I haven't let up since.
Yeah.
So it's
So
been
your
really
closest place that you can shoot now is up in Ripon, right?
Ripon is our club. We have a club. It's called the Sierra Gunhawks.
Yeah.
We've been there for 5 years. We shoot actually in the parking lot of the Old Town Saloon Cafe on every fourth Saturday of the month. So it's really it's really great.
And law enforcement and the neighbors are all cool with it.
Oh
right?
yeah, everybody's cool with it. We had law enforcement come out the first couple of weeks that we were out there, and they were looking up and says, "Hey, what's going on here?" And we told them what we were doing, that we had a permission to do from the owner, and everything was different then, a little bit.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, this is great. Have fun." And he drove off, and we've never seen anybody since. It's a very safe sport. I mean, we're shooting out there. We have 40 people that come out there and shoot. The safety, way this club is designed for safety to keep everybody at bay with a firearm. Although it's wax bullet, but again, it's still dangerous.
And safety is number one.
Safety is number one. We're out here.
Because you don't want to get hurt, and you don't want to see anybody else get hurt either.
Right. This sport is very great on bringing new people in to handle a gun in the safest way possible, learning how to handle a gun that they never thought they would be able to do in a lifetime. It brings them the opportunity to be able to shoot a firearm in a safe way so they're not intimidated because of the high-powered ammo that we use normally. This is a download of a wax bullet. It brings the confidence of somebody who wants for the first time to be able to shoot the gun and have fun doing it. So that's what's really great about the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife, she wasn't really crazy about the guns until she saw what I did. She goes, "Oh, this is okay."
And you've won some people over by people that were not really prone to wanting to shoot guns. You've brought them in and showed them, and they've showed interest.
They showed interest in it. Yeah, they go. You know, I talked to them. I said, "You were interested in, oh."
Actually, people are afraid of guns.
Yeah, I don't do anything with guns, and I showed them what I was doing. I worked with them a little bit. So just try this and try that. We dry fired. I always like to dry fire with empty guns, so that way we know we can do. And they did.
And they get the feel for it.
They get the feel for it, and they go, "Well, you have any bullets?"
So that's
sure.
That's the next.
So we start putting some wax ammo in there.
And this is a 45.
45 long Colt casing.
Long Colt casing, and it's got a shotgun primer, and that the primer is what powers the wax.
Wax.
And here's the wax right here. Oh.
Yeah, let's get that.
That was just here's the wax right there. This is the casing, and the casing comes out. So you don't really have any time. Do you have to resize these cases eventually?
No, there's no resizing at all. The organization Cowboy Fast Draw sells these by the 50, and they're
this is a different casing than you'd have for a regular bullet.
No, it's
right?
the same.
It's the same.
The only difference is the back. The primer hole is enlarged to accept the 209 casing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now there's some shooters that use a pistol primer, and I do have pistol primer cases or blank cases that I load with my wax. It's just a smaller velocity, and you can practice in a smaller and closer ranges and not have the problem with overpowering your shot.
And this is the wax also that goes into it, and it's pretty light too.
Yeah, it's about. I think it. You know, I never weighed it, but I believe it's around 10 grams.
Okay.
So it's not really a whole lot of weight. 10 to 12
now
grams.
this pistol, is it designed just to shoot target with wax, or could you actually put live loads in there too?
These are real guns.
Well, I know they're real guns.
Yeah, you could shoot. Yeah, you could shoot a live round and put a wax bullet right behind each other.
Okay.
So yeah, that's. You know,
and these are going 625 feet a second?
With the primer I'm using and the wax itself, I think we tested it about 630 to 660 feet per second.
And if you had a regular live bullet, what would that travel
I
at?
believe that's around 750 feet.
Okay, so not much faster. They're pretty slow.
Yeah, they're not
And
much
deadly, but
but there's no weight behind it, and they could stop. What's great about using the wax bullets, we can control what this bullet's going to do. We can stop it right here. And we have a net usually behind us, so
we have this tree line.
Right, a live round will go through the target and keep on going until it decides to stop,
Yeah.
and that's what brings it more of a fear of danger.
But this has no weight on it, so it's probably not going to travel more than, if it didn't have anything to stop it, it'd probably only go about 300 feet.
No, they'll go further than that. We were
really?
at some skeet shooter range where they have the big backdrop net, and they'll hit that, but the
okay.
velocity
Yeah.
is gone. You know. Yes, it will go a distance, but hurt anybody on the end, very unlikely.
We got the camera right here, and we got you right there.
Okay.
Now the gun's empty. Show me your draw.
Okay. This is the draw. That.
Okay, I'm going to come over here. I want to see that one more time. You stay right there. Wow.
That's the draw. And try to hit the target doing that. That's the next step. That's where a lot of the practice and everything comes in. And I practice with a laser. And let me show you that real quick. This is kind of cool here. This is a laser that, you know, I had problems finding a place to shoot, and I said, well, I'm in my house when I practice, and I'm just shooting the gun. I have no idea exactly where I'm going. So this is actually a casing that comes from here that we use.
Okay.
And I got myself a laser, and I made this thing all up so it goes into the gun, just like a regular load. We index it to the round.
Okay, so when the hammer hits it, it trips it.
It trips the light. So now when I fire, I can
you can see where it hit.
Yeah, so actually I could take my target in the house and shoot at the target and know where I'm hitting it with my laser, and saves a lot of ammo, and then I can do it in my city limits because I'm not shooting a projectile.
Yeah. Now your name is Bob Meyers, but you also go by Marshall Cooper.
Yes, I do.
And that was a figure in a Clint Eastwood movie.
It is a figure. Actually, I didn't arrive by the name from the movie. Actually, it was a friend of mine had a middle name of Cooper, and I always enjoyed his middle name.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was cool. And so I started with Marshall Cooper, the lawman style. You know, when I was a little kid, my dream was always to be a U.S. Marshal.
Yeah.
And that's the honest truth, you know.
Yeah.
So I said, now I could play the game of Marshal in a game of Cowboy Fast Draw.
You're just a big kid.
Basically, yes. I mean, if I had the photograph that they can find, I have all my cousins looking for it. The photograph of me, actually it's a movie film of me drawing a cap gun from my holster, and I'm willing to pay $1,000 for the first person that brings it to me.
Now we've got a child in the family now who's named Cooper, and it's my brother's grandson.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah.
Neat little kids.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yeah, right. There you go. Perfect. I like it.
Now we're going to shoot this target, and you're going to show us how it's done.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We'll show you how it's done.
Are you loaded?
Not yet. I'll load.
Okay.
Our command is normally shooters load and make ready.
Yeah. And now my brother's running the timer here.
Yes. He's doing a very well job at it.
So you typically load 3 in a 6-shooter?
I load 3 rounds. You can load to 5. You load as many as you want, up to 5. So I like the 3, and I unload, reload every shot. That's just practice.
Get him right here so we can see the draw, Mike. Right over there. Come on, here's he go. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Shooter on the line. Shooter set.
Whoa. How fast was that? Oh, okay. Well,
that was probably the world record shot. And
yeah,
we missed
it was. Yeah.
That's probably.
That was. Nobody will ever beat it, but we won't know because my brother erased it.
Shooter on the line. Shooter set. 376.
Wow. 3/10 of a third of a second.
3/4 of a, yeah.
Shooter on the line. Shooter set. 349.
Wow.
Shooter on the line.
You anxious?
Shooter set.
All right, a miss, but that's to be expected.
Yes, yeah, I mean, I hit.
You were a little concerned about that we were going to show some misses, but I mean, in the real world, it's an empty gun. In the real world, you would miss.
Yes.
What is your accuracy, typically?
At least 60%.
Okay.
I've shot in one of the championship matches, I had about an 80%. I was hitting 3 out of 4.
Yeah. So in a competition, would they just do one guy at a time, or would they have a line of people that would compete?
We have 6 targets.
Yeah.
On one of the shooting sessions, and you shoot in pairs of 2.
Okay.
And then, of course, you just, whoever hits gets the 3 hits out of the 5, they just start going off until the last man's done, then they call up the new set.
Yeah.
Usually the hand judges that are behind you, we have a hand judge that stands behind us that keeps an eye on what we're doing to keep everything safe.
Right.
So that way, if we're standing here like this, and we're on the line, step back just a little bit like that. So,
right.
Okay. If I'm up here online, I'm up like this, and I start doing this kind of reaction with the gun, my hand judge is going to stop me.
You're going to get disqualified.
Well, not get disqualified. I'm going to get a hand over here and says point down range. We want to keep everybody safe.
Right.
We have a guy standing next to us about 6 feet away. We don't want to be going like this to him.
Right.
Okay. So we keep everything safe that way, and they're watching our guns. And what it is, the hand judge's job is to watch that we don't start before the light comes on. So in other words, if I'm waiting here like this, and I go like that before the light comes on, I'll get a violation.
Yeah.
So
show us, we were counting you down, but show us your stance. So let's go ahead and face the target.
Okay.
And do this in slow motion for us.
Okay.
So your hand's already on the gun.
Yeah, you can start, this is called lawman ready. You can start with the hand on the gun.
Lawman ready is with the hand on the gun.
The hand on the gun. I mean, if there was
on the hammer?
And the hand, you have your thumb on the hammer, hand on the grip, but your finger outside the trigger guard.
Okay.
You cannot start this way.
Yeah,
okay?
because that would even be, well.
Because when you're cocking out, you pull the trigger, you fire down here. You don't want the bullet to go down here.
And the interesting part about your holster is that it's got a deflector.
It's a deflector, so if I
here.
do have an accident and I fire down, it's going to deflect away from me and not into my leg.
Yeah.
And that's just a safety. I mean, I've shot down into my leg before. It hurts, but it's nothing serious.
But it's just a
reminder, don't do that again. That's basically what it is.
I can imagine a lot of people have probably hurt themselves quick drawn with live ammunition.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, that's why we try to avoid at home. Don't try this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. So let's just say that right now. This guy's a professional. Do not attempt this at home. Don't go digging up your dad's gun and trying to quick draw down in the living room.
Yeah, with live ammo, because the success rates is pretty thin sometimes.
Right.
But anyway, the draw design, this is holsters made by Shanico Holsters. He's a great guy. He's been making holsters for 70 years.
Okay.
Or actually since the 70s. He's not that old. But anyway, he gave this rig to me a year ago and said, you try this because this will do you good, and I won 10 championships with it. So it's really good. But anyway, the draw is simple. It has a cant to it. It's a 18-degree cant.
Okay.
Okay. My stance is I like to squat down. I give a little lean back on there because that's just the way it's comfortable for me to draw the gun as quickly as I do. So actually, the draw sequence is this way in slow motion. Okay.
So keeping it right next to your side.
Keeping it. Actually, it's back even further back when I actually do the draw. I'll do it one more time here.
And that doesn't hurt to dry fire this this Ruger?
No, they're designed to dry fire, the Ruger itself, so it won't hurt it. And then as you practice this draw, you just go a little faster each time. And you start getting in there to where the draw is that fast.
How long did you practice doing that? How many draws? Thousands and thousands?
Thousands of draws. Thousands.
An hour, maybe a day, a couple hours a day?
No, actually, right now, I practice about 5 minutes about every other day.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Just to stay lubed up.
Stay lubed up, right.
Wow.
And I use my laser a lot.
So you've got a laser, and you can use that in the home. And
I use that in the home.
That'll show you where you hit the target.
Where I'm hitting.
Yeah.
So at least I know I'm in the direction I need to be. Everything has to do with timing. When you're taking the gun out and you're going, and you're shooting from the hip, so the gun at level, 1/8 inch or 1 degree, you miss the target. Either way.
Well, you got a couple of things going against you. That's a short barrel, you know, as opposed to a rifle barrel that is way more accurate, and the time and your time to get on target is just nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing.
It seems to be nothing.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, we'll try a dry fire with you. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And you'll realize how fun it is to do it. But the average Joe that comes out with the gun on, well, this is a natural reaction. You're standing vertical like you see on TV. That's what we focus a lot of things on, is what we see on TV.
Right. It's all wrong.
That's Hollywood.
But do you think it was accurate for the guys 150 years ago that were shooting?
No, because the guys 150 years ago were waiting to shoot you in the back when you came out of the bar.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know where the accuracy was there, but
You didn't even see it coming.
That's right. But the action is more, and that's a very common, normal action for first-time shooters.
Yeah. Is they get it up and maybe even hold it to where they've got it in line of sight with their eyes, right?
And I always work with a shooter to get them to do that position shooting, is because I want to create them the safety and the confidence in what they can do with the gun.
Mm-hmm.
So, first-time shooter, and I know one that shot himself 3 times in the leg, and that was me.
Yeah.
He got up there and he had to go like this, and he blew himself in the leg. So you don't want to do that. So you go out there and you just do the shot, make sure you get the gun, the draw, the whole, everything, fire, squeeze, and pull. This is the sound you want to hear. That's the best sound with a gun in this position, not there.
Right. Yeah, you don't want that.
That's like, you know. But that's the shot. So, you know, here later on, we'll put a gun on you, and you'll stand up here, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, and you'll do it safely. And then we're going to put a bullet in there, and we're going to watch you hit the target.
Okay.
Shooter up.
Shooter on the line. Shooter.
Shooter set.
How much time?
1.1.
Oh, that's not bad for the first time, huh?
1.1.
Okay, let's do one more.
Okay. Shooter on the line.
Shooter on
Shooter
the
set.
line. Shooter set. 9:36.
Faster?
Getting faster.
Wow.
Getting better.
That is pretty cool.
Just shaking his boots. I can see it right now.
Okay, that's it. Give me the gun back.
Okay.
No, we'll unload.
Oh yeah, unload it.
And we show that the gun is clear.
Safety is the first thing always.
And then we lock it down so you don't have a problem.
So are there younger kids coming up that are way faster than you, or are going to be faster than you?
There's some are 10 years old, and they're
Really?
shooting 55 hundredths of a second. That's just a half of a second.
That's pretty fast.
It's pretty.
I'm surprised I
two-handed.
shot that fast at 1.1 and 9.3, you know, 9.4.
Well, if we spend another 25 rounds on this thing, you'd probably be shooting down in the 7s.
Really?
It's amazing what you learn to do very quickly. You can adapt to the sport very quickly.
When you started, what were you shooting?
I
mean, when you started getting really comfortable.
The first time I fired the weapon, I was around 62.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the day, I was shooting 4.99 was my fastest time. Actually, I had the fastest time in the club that day.
Wow.
And it was my first day.
That's pretty cool.
And then from there on, I just kept practicing.
Yeah.
But practice is the way to go.
Wow.
So.
That is very cool. So what's the place where people can go to learn more about the fast gun? What do they call it?
Cowboy Fast Draw.
Cowboy Fast Draw.
CowboyFastDraw.com.
Yeah.
To get on there.
Is that worldwide?
Yeah, it is. Actually,
what's the most popular country that this is being done in?
I think Australia.
Australia,
I think there's
really?
3 clubs in Australia. There was one that came to the world from Switzerland that wants to start a club.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's some in Japan and also Lebanon.
You know what? This feels pretty comfortable.
It is.
I'm wondering if I should start wearing this around Fresno.
Yeah, yeah.
I can imagine I'll get arrested real quick, huh, with the sidearm.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So that's Cowboy Fast Draw, and people can see videos and pictures of this sport on that.
If you go on there, they have there's 8 videos that you can get on. They have showing the clothing that we wear, the ammo that we use, the techniques on drawing the gun, the holsters that you need. Everything on there is you need. They have on the sidebar, you can go to see standings, vendors that sell holsters for the sport.
Yeah.
You have gun, you know.
So about how, and you've, some of the prizes you've won other 45s, right? Other 6-shooters?
Yes, I won 8 guns this year.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's cool.
It's cool, yeah, it's really cool. So they're still coming in.
Yeah.
You know,
so how much do you have invested in this?
The initial cost to get invested with a holster like you're wearing, this is a Bob Mernicle holster. Something like this would run about $270. A gun is anywhere from, depending on your dealer who you purchase the gun from, say $475 to $580.
Yeah.
Your ammo, you get empty cases. You buy 50 rounds for around 40 bucks. You could get 1,000 rounds of wax bullets for around $25.
Okay.
Your 209 shotgun primers in a box of 1,000, depending on the brand, is anywhere, say, from $25 to $35.
Yeah.
So it's around $6 to load 100 rounds.
And really, the comfort of this is in the holster.
Yes.
That's the whole thing.
Oh yeah, you forget you're even wearing them.
Because the guns are all primarily identical. I mean,
Yes.
there's little nuances, differences in them, but basically it's all the rig. They call this the rig.
The
right?
rig,
Yeah.
the rig. Yeah, it's all in that, and that's who you are when you get into. You'll be dressing up wearing cowboy boots, hat, shirts. I mean, some of these guys are decked out. It's really cool.
Yeah.
The women are absolutely beautiful when they come. They got the got the bustiers, the gowns. All
Nothing like a woman with a 6-shooter.
Oh
on her
yeah,
hip.
yeah. They're great.
Yeah. We are out of time. Bob Meyers, AKA Marshall Cooper, thank you so much for being on the Valley today. And the Valley today is a public service presentation of this great TV station. And for more information on this sport, go to
CowboyFastDraw.com.
Valley Today. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.